Hang on to your hats, gals. Things could get a little messy around here. Welcome to Sobriety Snippets for Women Over 40, where we elevate our mindset and trade hangovers for higher consciousness, one powerful snippet at a time. I'm Becca Jacobson, and today's Friday, and it might be our last snippet of the week, but things are not slowing down in snippet land. Hop on over to YouTube tomorrow, grab yourself a stroll, and on Sunday, come on over to YouTube and join me for a live stream. I know, right? Live on YouTube. You can say hello in the chat, and this week I'm going to be talking about how to know if you even want to quit drinking. Like, right? How do I even know I want to quit drinking? Maybe I don't want to quit drinking. Maybe my doctor wants me to quit drinking, but I don't. Come and check it out, and I'll help you get that sorted. But today we're going to talk about one of the things that I say a lot around here is that this journey is a messy one. When I wrote my memoir back in 2023, well, I published it in 23. I wrote it in 21 and 22. One of the things I said in that book, if you're curious, it's available on Amazon. It was international bestseller at the time when I published it. It's called Prostitute to Professor, A Guide to Radical Transformation. Check it out, or just stick around here and eventually you'll hear some of those stories. Gals, it's about my journey through 13 years as a prostitute and into how I became a college professor. But the reason I bring it up today, in that book, it becomes very clear that this journey is not a straight line. It's not like we're going along one day and the next day we're not drinking and things are all different. It's a messy, and I use the word messy intentionally. It's the right word. And what I mean by that is that we have starts and stops. We fall down, we pick ourselves back up. We have to be ready to fail. Now, women will say to me a lot, well, what if I fail? I'm like, don't worry, you will. That's okay. Like, I'm serious. You'll fail. That's okay. That doesn't mean anything. What does that mean? It means you learn something, you get to try again tomorrow. Now, I'm not talking about endlessly trying to quit and endlessly drinking and endlessly trying to quit, because we've already done that. That's what we do. That's what the loop is, isn't it? Today, I'm not going to drink. 6 hours later, we're drinking, the binging. We've done that enough of that. So I'm not talking about that. But once we do enter this journey, and on Wednesday, I talked about how to get prepared. I also pointed out that we're actually never really ready. The most we can do is make sure we're set up for the support that we need and have the courage to move forward. Well, when we do that and we've set that up and we commit to that, we can't expect that in that moment, the journey will just be a nice, clean, straight line. That's what I mean. It's still messy and uncomfortable. But notice I didn't say it's a disaster and it's painful. No, my words are lighter. It's messy, not dirty, not grubby, not horrible, just messy. Messy. We can clean up messiness. And uncomfortable, not painful, not agonizing, uncomfortable. And I know that you have the courage to be a little uncomfortable and to clean up a bit of messiness when it comes along. I mean, that's what we do, isn't it? We've been putting out fires like that all our lives. Probably worse than messy, probably worse than uncomfortable we've survived. And yet we somehow think we can't do this. So I think it's really important to recognize that you are going to have setbacks. You are going to stumble. You are going to wonder what the hell is going on. You know what happens? We start feeling great, then we feel worse, then we feel great, then we feel worse, and we're like, what is happening? That's part of the journey. But if we're not being properly supported, what happens, and this happens a lot, is first we feel uncomfortable, and then it slowly evolves into, wait, I'm doing this, I feel a little better. And we start to think, I'm getting this. And that's when we're in the danger zone because we think we've got it. And then all of a sudden we wake up one morning, alcohol's wide awake, and we're right back to uncomfortable and unsure. And we think, well, what happened? I thought I had this. And then we're so tempted. And then what do? Well, hopefully we've got the support we need and we don't run off and buy a bottle of wine. but it's a very uncomfortable day. And for crying out loud, just the day before you were feeling great. This is what I mean by messy. And if we don't have someone there reminding us, part of the journey, it's okay. It's okay. Because you know what? It doesn't feel okay. It feels so real and it feels so permanent. When you wake up in the morning feeling great and you've got some sobriety and you're doing it, and it's like, oh my God, this is totally happening, that's not true. And when you wake up in the morning feeling horrible and triggered all day long and so tempted to drink that you want to pull your hair out, that's also not true. Those are just moments in time that pass, but they feel like they're going to last forever. When we feel great, we think, I got it. I'm going to feel great from here on out. And when we feel like crap, we think we're going to feel like crap from here on out. That's what I mean by a messy journey. And trying to navigate something like that on your own after years of drinking in a particular way, why do we think we can do that? I thought I could. That was what kept me drinking till I was 52. I just couldn't get it through my head that I couldn't do it alone because I had done everything else alone. I had gone from prostitution to a professorship. I had a little bit of support, not much. Nobody in my family's educated. So when I decided to become an undergrad at 32, it was like no one to turn to. My mom was thrilled, but she had no money, that's for sure. She would just say, oh my God, that's amazing. She couldn't really understand why I wasn't just getting a job, at the local pub or the local mall or whatever. But she was happy. She's like, well, if you want to go into debt, get your student loans, go into debt and go to college, go ahead. I'm happy. Good for you, right? Kind of thing. But I had to do it on my own. And meanwhile, carrying around addiction, carrying around alcohol the whole time, right through college, right through grad school. And then I end up getting this job, this beautiful career, this position. And there I am, I'm a college professor, whereas 8 years earlier, I was a prostitute. Like, I did all that. And so when it comes down to the wire and someone says, look, you can't quit drinking without help. I'm like, bullshit, man, you don't know what I can do. Like, don't tell me I can't do it. I'm intelligent. I'm determined. I've been through a lot in my life, and I can do this. But I couldn't. That's the thing. And I suddenly realized at 52, if I don't change that one position, if I don't have enough humility to say, oh my God, this is the one thing in life I really do need help with. If I'm not willing to do that, I'm going to be 62, 72, dead, and still drinking. Those were my thoughts at 52 years old when I finally spiraled into an 8-day blackout. Gals, there is nothing wrong with needing help. And it makes the journey so much brighter, so much more powerful when we can share it. So if you're expecting the journey to look a certain way, I just want to remind you that it's messy. And when I say messy, that's what I mean. But it can be a lot neater, a lot tidier, and it doesn't have to stay messy for very long when we're properly supported. I mean, if you think to yourself, I think I'm ready. Oh, wait, no, I guess I'm not ready, but that's okay. I'm going to do it anyway because Becca said I'll never be ready, and you won't. And then you think, well, what if I fail? What if I decide to get supported and I fail? I say to you again, don't worry, you will. And it's okay. What the hell is failure? It's temporary. It's a moment in time. That's all it is. We cannot come into this asking for or expecting perfection. And I know we like to do things perfectly. Many of us had dragged with us from childhood or somewhere in our lives the idea that we need to be perfect. We need to show up for others. We need to be the strong one. And it's very, very, very difficult for us to be vulnerable and admit that we need help. But that's exactly what we need. That is the one thing that alcohol cannot fight through. That is the one thing that alcohol crumbles in front of. A willingness to be vulnerable and supported, and a willingness to be uncomfortable when the journey gets messy. I've said it so many times, alcohol is very powerful, very tricky. It's a liar. It tells us these things that we somehow believe that are not true. And the power that it has crumbles in the face of humility and willingness to be vulnerable. Alcohol just loses all its power in the face of that. It tries. That's what makes the journey messy. suddenly it'll push back, but you're supported and you can see what's happening. You can see, wait, this isn't me starting to tumble. This is just alcohol pushing a little bit harder. I can turn to my safety net, my support system, and it passes. So if you're worried about failing, don't worry, you will. If you're not sure if you're ready, don't worry, you never will be. That's been basically the themes this week. And I'm so glad you've been with me, had the courage to hear what I have to share, because I don't throw BS at you. There's no point. I'm never going to come on here on the snippets or the strolls or anywhere and say to you, no problem, man. I got the here. It's easy. It's an uncomfortable journey, but uncomfortable and messy is something that all of us are capable of handling. That wraps up another week of snippets. We've still got strolls. Check out the YouTube channel tomorrow for a fresh stroll. If you haven't seen the strolls, my handle on YouTube is Sober Living Snippets. And on Sunday, gals, it's the second week in a row I'm going live on YouTube at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. My handle is Sober Living Snippets. Come and join me live, say hello in the chat, and keep getting your Snippetland energy all through the weekend. And gals, today I'm going to ask you again, if you've never rated or reviewed the show, I would really appreciate it if you would hit 5 stars, give me a sentence or two, letting the rest of the world know that you're being supported by the snippets. We need more women to find us, and that way we can help more women here in Snippetland. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back next time so I can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.